a vehicle for them to achieve your long-term goals, your long-term destiny, to make a change in your life. As we started out the day, we had a show of hands by the number of you that were a guest in the room here today. And if you're a guest today, you may be looking at ZJ and wondering if ZJ is the vehicle for you to allow and provide that change. I want to tell you a little bit about who we are, where we're going, and what we will become. And it starts, of course, with our founder, Mr. Brailsford. See, I'm going to share with you from my perspective, because I have a unique perspective, because I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Brailsford back in 2005. At this point in time, he was retired. He had started 2 companies already, Nature's Sunshine. Have you guys ever heard of Nature's Sunshine? Show of hands if you've heard of Nature's Sunshine. And then what about Enrich International? Okay, both companies are still in business today and have contributed literally billions of dollars in the health and wellness industry. So in 2005, Ken was in a mode of retirement where he had moved on out of those businesses and was financially secure. And he was presented with a documentary that had aired on the Discovery Channel. And after watching that documentary, Ken felt compelled, he felt inspired that he was going to come out of retirement and get back in business. And I remember having a chance to sit down with him and have him cast his vision and share his vision for ZJ and what he thought it would become. See, the reason why he was compelled or inspired for him to come out of retirement is he recognized that ZJ would be what he referred to as his legacy company. Now, when you think about Ken, a very accomplished businessman, what he had accomplished to that point in his life, and when he starts talking about a legacy company, that was pretty profound for me to hear him share his vision about what it would become. And now, over the years, we've been able to watch the company grow and develop and been able to see his vision actually come to fruition. And if you fast forward to where we're at right now in 2013, we're a company now that is over $150 million a year in annualized sales and well on our way to becoming a billion-dollar brand. If you know anything about momentum and growth, or if you don't even know the very simplest equations when talking mathematically speaking, there's a lot of growth that happens between 150 million and a billion-dollar brand. Would you agree? Yes. You don't need a very big slice of that pie to make a change in your life. That's the timing that we're at right now, and the incubation period of the company launching in 2006 until now has put us in a position where the company is poised and positioned to be able to facilitate that type of growth. We are right now on a growth curve that will absolutely create the company doubling in size again this year in 2013. It's my opinion and firm belief that we will achieve $250 million in annualized sales and be on our way, be a $250 million company before this year is over, and then the following year be pushing it to double in size again. See, that's what you're involved with. See, what Ken saw back in 2005 that was so compelling to him was he saw an opportunity, right? And really what he saw was a problem. But problems are nothing more than opportunities looking for a solution, right? And he was able to position himself in front of a problem by creating a solution. When we go back to the house, we talk about Life Unlimited, we talk about the foundation, having a firm foundation to build on. That's what Ken Brailsford has done for ZJ International. That's what he has implemented to date right now with the infrastructure to support a billion-dollar brand. But then let's talk about the other core values. And as we run through the presentation today, each one of the things we talk about are going to be relative to the core values that we have. The first one, of course, being participation. The first one being nutrition, right? Secondarily being, I think I heard it.
Family.
Well, I'm talking. Active lifestyle is another one. Financial freedom and personal development, right? So when you take these core values and put them on a foundation that is strong and stable and secure, that is what we provide for people to achieve and live what we call Life Unlimited. Now, first and foremost, Ken had to put together the right team. Had to put together a team of individuals that knew what they were doing and could create run, and manage a billion-dollar brand. That, of course, is the executive team headed up by our president and CEO, Mr. Rodney Larson. Now, combined, if you take all the individuals that you see on the slide behind me, and including Ken, of course, we have well over 100 years of experience in the direct sales and network marketing industry, right? Creating a way for not just logistically speaking and the foundation and infrastructure, but also a team that can drive and handle the growth that's going to happen between 150 million and $1 billion. And then, of course, we have the experts. You got to have the people that really know what they're doing. We're fortunate, of course, today that we're going to hear from one of those experts, and that, of course, is Russ Bianchi. He's a guy that really almost needs no introduction. A lot of you have had a chance to speak with Russ. You understand, one, just how absolutely brilliant he is. I love traveling with Russ, but I always say I always end up going home feeling intellectually humbled a little bit. So, I enjoy the time, but always get home and decide I've got to read more or do something. You know, Ken sought out Russ back in 2005 and presented him with a task. And of course, I'm going to leave that open for Russ. You'll be able to hear that story and exactly how that unfolded. But we're fortunate to be teamed up and be able to lock arms with individuals that understand it. Additionally, outside of Russ, we've made a new addition to our team, Dr. Joshua Plant. Dr. Josh Plant graduated from Harvard University, top of his class, with a degree in biomedical sciences. He has joined the team and working with arms locked and hand in hand with Russ in developing new products and making sure that Zija is on the cutting edge as far as our product line is concerned relative to what is in the industry, and providing real products that provide real results. And you'll have a chance today to hear from individuals who had an experience. One of the great things about my job, what I love doing, is I have a chance to travel all across, not all across the country, but all across the world, and listen to people tell how our product line has made a profound change on their life. Some of the best stories that I've heard are actually here in the room today, and you'll have a chance to hear from those. But just earlier before the meeting, I had been able to walk around and shake hands with a handful of people, and guys like Bob here has lost 23 pounds in 3 weeks, and how the product is just making... You'll hear from Bob later today, but it's unbelievable when you see what the actual product line is doing. And that's just one component of what we do, is providing your body with the proper nutrition, right? And when you give your body the proper nutrition, your body has the ability to self-correct a lot of the ailments that you're facing and be able to feel better. Gives you an opportunity to go out and change your life from a number of different perspectives. The company itself, you heard me talk about the fact that the infrastructure is in place. We talked about Ken and his vision and being able to create a foundation. Well, that foundation is largely relative to the infrastructure that we have in place right now at Zija International. You heard me mention that the company right now, we are a billion-dollar brand. Now, what I mean by that is we are a company right now that has the infrastructure and components put in place to support that type of growth. And that's been because of the vision. When you hear Ken talk about being a legacy company, and the very beginning he identified that Zija would become a billion-dollar brand. We put steps in play that will absolutely allow us to do so. When I say that, let me just expound on that a little bit. We right now have in place 150,000 square feet in manufacturing space, to where we can manufacture all of our own products. A lot of you have had a chance to come out and actually take a look and see what we're talking about when we talk about the infrastructure. At the conference last year in October, we invited everybody out to come out and take a tour and see the building. We also have our own distribution facility right there in Lehi, Utah, that is shipping products all around the world, as well as satellite facilities. And we're open in 32 different countries, and so we've got facilities all around the world where we can distribute product. So right now the company is poised and positioned with the assets and infrastructure that will allow us to become a billion-dollar brand, and that's in place right now. Right now. The reason why I really hit on that point is because it's not unlikely to see companies that are 2, 3, or even 4 times the size that we are that have less infrastructure in place. See, in order to become a billion-dollar brand, which you have to be what we call vertically integrated. Vertically integrated means from the farming and the harvesting of the moringa and the raw materials all the way to being delivered to the end consumer, that's all done in-house, giving us the ability, of course, to be able to control our own destiny, right? That we're in a position that we're not relying on other relationships to be able to deliver the products, goods, or services to our consumers and our independent distributors. You heard me mention here that ZIDZA International, being a global company, right now open in 32 countries across the world, and this year will largely be recognized as the year where ZIDZA really put our international growth on the map. We've got several countries in the works right now that are happening in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Indonesia. I know Ron and I, we're going to be leaving the meeting tonight or tomorrow morning early, really, to fly out to the Philippines, where we have a ribbon cutting ceremony. Malaysia, we just launched the opening of Chile, Colombia, Panama, Peru. See, what ZIDZA provides is an opportunity for everybody, anybody who wants to have an international or a global business. See, in relationship marketing, of course, we used to talk about 5 degrees of separation, right? And that's now changed, of course, with all the technology that we have, that it's no longer 5 degrees of separation. It's now maybe 4 or 3. But we have relationships and inroads with people all across the world. And ZIDZA, being an international company and taking the product line globally, gives you an opportunity to own and operate your own international business. So why ZIDZA? You know, I talked about the core values. And the 4 core values, the first one being nutrition. You heard me mention also that Ken had a vision and he saw an opportunity because he was putting himself in front of a problem and providing a solution. If you take a look at this slide here, this slide is the food chain. Anybody remember the food chain from elementary school? Or not the food chain, pardon me, the food pyramid, right? And on the food pyramid you went through, you had what it was that you're supposed to be eating: grains, fruits, vegetables, healthy food. But what is it that we're actually eating from today? Right? Now that unfortunately, that looks familiar to me. But it becomes such a fast-paced society that it's really difficult, even if you're trying to eat healthy, it's difficult to get the nutrition that your body needs. So Ken, recognizing back in 2005 that there was a problem with the nutritional content in our foods and that our bodies were suffering because of it, and realizing that it wasn't getting any better, right? Because food has become so commercialized that we're trying to get food out there. It's become a competitive industry relative to making money, that they're getting nothing relative to nutrition in the foods that are available to us. And we're running around so quickly that people don't sit down and take the time to enjoy a nutritious meal. It's often fast foods or grabbing something on the go. And as a consequence, we're seeing that people are suffering from ailments more and more, that 67% of Americans are overweight. That same statistic is true all across North America and all across the globe. There's a growing epidemic of people fighting their weight and weight management, which creates a problem. If you can put yourself in front of a problem, you found an opportunity, correct? Not only that, even if you're trying to eat well, even if you are trying to eat well, the nutrition just is not there anymore, right? So if you take a look at this, it's very interesting to me when I look at this. A 6% decline in protein, 16% decline in calcium, phosphorus down by 9%, iron down by 15%. This is taken from a study of the food composition of garden crops going from 1950 to 1999. So you can see that even if you focus and you're trying to eat well, the nutrition just is not there in the food chain anymore. The consequence, of course, is what I mentioned, that North America is overweight. People are overfed, we're undernourished. So, what's the solution? The solution is find a way that you can deliver the nutrition back to your body. See, we have a concept of what we call gap nutrition, because all of our habits, all of our lifestyles may be different, our nutritional needs may be different, and whatever our habits are, we're actually getting different levels or varying degrees of nutrition in our bodies. So we find one product or one way to be able to supplement that, and we've done that with a botanical. See, I mentioned to you that Ken watched a documentary that had aired on the Discovery Channel, and it was that documentary that was the catalyst to bringing Ken out of retirement. That documentary featured a botanical called Moringa oleifera. Moringa oleifera has been identified as the most nutrient-dense botanical on the planet. So now by giving your body the proper nutrition, now we can go back and focus on some of the challenges or the symptoms that you're seeing because of the lack of nutrition. One of which, of course, being weight loss. So what I'd like to do right now, and you're going to have a chance to hear more from him later today, but I'd like to welcome up to the front of the room to join me our formulator, Russ Bianchi. Yeah.